Money. Now, the Co-op has said it will sell its 129-strong petrol forecourt business to Asda in a deal worth £600 million. Representing 5% of its retail estate, Co-op says the proceeds will contribute to grocery store expansion and to help the company balance its books. Meanwhile, petrol prices remain high, even though oil prices have fallen around 20% over recent months. Despite that, though, motoring holidays have turned out to be pretty popular this summer, with many Brits, deterred by reports of air travel chaos, opting for staycations. Well, joining me now to discuss this trend, we have Xavier Collins. He's UK Vice President of the car rental platform Turo, and I can't get rid of him. Justin Urquhart-Stewart is still with us. Xavier, great to see you. Now, your company, Turo, it's like kind of Airbnb for cars. So, unlike traditional car rental companies, you don't have fleets and fleets of cars. You help people to rent out their own cars to members of the public, cars that you guys have vetted and so on. It's an interesting model.
Exactly, yeah. No, thanks so much. Basically like Airbnb for cars. So if you're a car owner, it's a great way of basically sharing out your vehicle when you're not using it and making money. And if you're a guest, the idea is that you should be able to find a car 5-minute walk away.
Yeah.
That's well priced.
And a range of cars, be it a small car or a truck or a van or something like that.
Yeah, that's the idea. So, yeah, if you think about it, we don't own fleets and fleets of vehicles. We're actually just leveraging the cars that already exist there today. So there's 37 million in the UK at the moment, and they actually sit idle 95% of the time. And so what that means is we can get a much better selection of vehicles than a traditional car rental or a zip car, something like that. And ideally put them close to people and well priced. And I guess importantly, for this show and the people listening, putting money back in people's pockets.
Yeah, sure. And there are environmental benefits too. I think we use our cars on average. Of course, some people are professional drivers, but we use our cars on average something like 5% of the time. So for 95% of the time, one of the most costly things you'll ever buy is just sitting there depreciating in value, right? So you might as well get some money out of it. Exactly.
So, I mean, that's been a massive driver of adoption this year, this summer in particular. We see a lot of people listing their car. The average earnings now on the platform for a host is about £400 a month.
Wow. So, that's proper money.
It's awesome, yeah. And I think the idea is that, during the week or maybe some weekends, you're not using your car. And so if you can share it out on this platform in a trusted, easy way, and you can make money doing so, it's kind of a no-brainer for a lot of people who are trying to, offset the cost of living crisis we're having right now.
And can you use your app to actually open the car door and all of that? I mean, so you have to sort of fit out cars that are going to be hired out on your platform, right, a little bit?
So we actually offer both.
Yeah.
So I'd say the majority of trips on the platform are actually facilitated just through human interaction.
Yeah. So there's a physical key handover.
But there are a significant segment of cars that actually have unlock technology on it. So you can use the Turo app as a guest, search cars. You can even filter by cars that you can unlock automatically.
Yeah.
Find a car near you.
And that's more convenient for both parties, isn't it? Because the person can literally be on holiday and their car can be rented out from their own driveway or the street where they live, and they're making money while they're away.
That's it. So, our CEO, Andre, has this vision that, making money on Turo should be as easy as, pushing a button and you can make money. And so the idea is that as a car owner, if you have Turo technology installed in your car, as you say, you can be, visiting friends on holiday or whatever it is, and you could still be, making that asset work for you.
And so have you seen this summer an uptick in people staying in the UK, sort of driving holidays? Obviously, an astonishing place to visit, the UK, right? That's probably one of the most visited countries in the world.
Yeah.
People who live here don't always see their own country, do they? But you think there's been an uptick in that with people renting out cars to go on a touring holiday to visit parts of the country they don't already know?
Yeah, there definitely has. It's been super interesting. We think that obviously during the pandemic and the months kind of following, people were opting, if they were taking a break, to stay at home. They didn't want to travel. I think what's really interesting is that it's a trend that seems to be continuing. So I think that's probably being driven by two things. One is that people got a taste for, actually it's an amazing country. There's some fantastic places to go. It's much more cost efficient. And then secondly, we've seen a huge amount of kind of chaos at airports this summer. there's still a lot of anxiety around travel. And so...
Pandemic and non-pandemic.
Exactly,
right?
exactly, like logistical and pandemic. So that's been a massive boon for us, I think. And then on the Turo side of things, we've seen car rental prices, traditional car rental prices have surged. I think they've increased 190% this year. And so that's to do with the chip shortage and supply constraint issues.
Yeah,
you were just talking
lack of silicon chips for cars. It costs more for the traditional car rental companies to buy those fleet of vehicles, doesn't it? Because the cars themselves have become more expensive because of the supply chain issues.
Exactly. And so then if you've got this model where you're relying on scaling up and down a fleet of cars, and when there's already so many cars in the world today, I think that's been all of these kind of trends have combined where we're seeing more people stay in the UK, more people opting for kind of domestic road trips, and then from a Turo perspective, we've been able to offer just much better value for money because we're literally leveraging the fact that there's someone a 5-minute walk away from you who would like to share out their car and they're not using it, and so you can get a better value and get a break at a holiday.
And Turo and companies similar to you kind of deal with the insurance. You have a kind of bulk insurance product, right?
It's a great question.
To make it all work. I know, because I've talked to various people about precisely this model, and the thing you really got to crack is the insurance.
Exactly.
But obviously, you're here on live television talking about it. You've largely solved that issue for now.
Yeah, so it's a great question. It's probably the question I get asked the whole time. So Turo's lucky in that we've been around now for 10 years. We've raised over $500 million of funding. We've been in the UK for 4 years now. And so it's been a long journey and a difficult journey, but we've learned a huge amount. And I think the insurance nut has been something that we finally cracked. And so, it's critical for anyone listing a car on Turo that they have peace of mind. And equally, if you're a guest booking a car, right?
Sure.
So, anyone who lists a car on Turo, any person who takes a trip on Turo, from the second the trip starts to when the trip ends, it's fully covered by our insurance.